everyone, it's Robin here, and in this video I want to do two things. I want to introduce you to this incredible guitar, which is my brand new signature model, the XXX, and also teach you some Lush chords for Django's beautiful ballad Manoir de ma Rêve, which we sometimes call Django's Castle. And this is a great piece to learn anyway, and in this video I want to show you the basic chords first, and then kind of show you some ways you can really lush it up and really bring the most out of the guitar you're playing, using some really kind of lush and open chords and maybe some things you haven't thought about. And if you don't know the tune, by the way, then make sure you download the chart on this page, because I've got all the basic chords written out and also the lush chords I'm going to teach you in this sec, so you'll have all the info under your fingers. So the tune, it's one of the first ones I learned in this style, and I'll play the basic version now with the basic chords, and then I'll show you how to make it even more beautiful. So it's the one that goes, just excuse the singing. So I'm just basically playing the basic ones now. It's all in D major. So I'm kind of just playing the rhythm now. Second half. So it's basically the same as the first half. The same, then the ending, just the simple chords. So you can see it's a really gorgeous tune, and the melody kind of lofts really nicely above the chords. And the style I was playing then is just kind of accompanying somebody who was playing the melody. The melody is like that, just a really simple melody. And so in this video I'm kind of concentrating on the rhythm and the accompaniment. And the style I just did it then are the real basic chords to Manoir de ma Rêve, Django's Castle. So now I'm going to show you for each chord and each little movement that we've got there some different options, which when you play rhythm, it's good to kind of have these options so you're not always playing the same voicings, and you've got a lot more textures and colors that you can add to your music and become a better accompanist, and lead players love that. So let's look at the very first chord. It's this chord. You've got the melody in the top there, and this chord is kind of, you know, if you're new to gypsy jazz, this is a very typical chord that we play in this music. It's basically like an A7 chord, but you've got this B flat in the bass. That's the 6th fret on the bottom E string. Then you've got 5th fret on a G string, 6th fret on the G string, 7th fret on the B string. So you've got this chord, which is basically like A13, A7, but with this B flat in the bass. That gives that real tension, so you can play. Okay, so that's option number one. That's the usual chord that you'd always play. Option number two, you can play this, the same chord except making the bass note the E flat, which is the 6th fret on the A string. So then the same notes, the rest of the chord, you've just got this sound. Okay, so that's. Still got the melody on top. So you've got the option, it's the bass note on the bottom E string, or bass note on the A string, okay? So that's two options. Another option, which is really cool, is this chord. Okay? So let me teach you that. it's the open bottom A, okay? And you basically, with your pinky, you're taking the 5th fret on the D string. That's the 7th of the A7 type chord. Then you've got the flat 9, the B flat, 3rd fret on the G string. And then you've got barred with your 1st finger, the C sharp and the F sharp. That's the 2nd fret on the B and the E strings. And this is a great chord to know. So it's, okay? And you can tell there you've got the melody note in the top. So you can use that as that chord as well. Or that chord. Okay, so there's 3 options so far. Okay? Okay, and all 3 are going to sound great, but like I'm saying, I just want to give you more options, more colors, more textures to make you a better rhythm player, okay? So that's the first chord. Second chord, which is the home key, and this is what it's all about, is D major. So the whole piece is in D major. So right now I'm going to show you a few options for D major. The basic one that we'd play in this chord, in this piece, would sound like this. Okay, so it's D6-9 on the 5th fret. So you've got the bottom A, you've got the F sharp, you've got the B, you've got the E, and you've got the A. So this chord. Okay, so that's D6-9. Again, make sure you download the chart because these chords are written out nice and simply so you can see exactly where you put your fingers. And if you're new to this tune, then learn these chords first before you get into the Lush version, okay? So there's D6-9. Okay, what other D chords have we got? Let's start from the bottom. This is what I always like to do. Let's look at the campfire chords because, you know, we're always trying to make these guitars sound beautiful, and there's D major, okay? Don't forget, just because you're playing gypsy jazz doesn't mean you can't play D like you maybe learnt D. One of the first chords you might have learned. Options with that, F sharp with the thumb. Okay, that's the 3rd. Then you've got this chord. Okay, so that's open D, 2nd fret on a G, D with the pinky there, and then you've got the F sharp and the bass, so you kind of get that real, and when you kind of play this kind of chord, you can really kind of caress the strings a little bit, kind of roll through it to get that sound. Once you've got the D there, if you flatten the pinky there, you've got D major 7, because you've got the C sharp. Okay? Okay, so D, D major 7, both sounding really lush. Okay? And then, what's really cool about this voicing is that if you play the top open string, you've got the 9th. Okay, so it's always going to work in a D major context. Okay? You can even play the open B there. So you've got a few options and few colors with that D major voicing. Okay, so let's recap. A7 type with the B flat, A7 type with the E flat, A7 type, okay, with the open A, with that chord, D major, the D6-9, you've got the D major there, right there, you've got the D major 7, yeah, the pinky on the C sharp, even open, D6, and then the 9, okay, it's always going to sound beautiful. Okay, so there's D major options. Another D major option, which I really like, you might know this D major 7 sound there. Okay, so that's D, A, C sharp, F sharp, A. Well, that's pretty kind of normal sounding, but if you just lift your pinky off, you get this sound, which makes it a D major 9, which kind of makes it sound a little bit more modern, so, okay. So again, D, A, C sharp, so 5th fret, 7th fret, 6th fret on the G string, then it's barred on the top E and E string, so you get this sound. It's a really beautiful sound. Okay, so there's another D major option. One more D major option, really open, really modern sounding is, and these are all tie-in. In the 3rd video in this series, I'm going to show you how to create your own arrangement of this tune And the more chords you know for each of the chord types, the better, okay? So this is another D major. So how do we build that? We've got the bar on the 9th fret here with your first finger. And if you think of D major here, right? So, okay, and then if you play, there's the root with the pinky there, then, okay, so you got that chord, which is like D major 7 there, barred on the 9th, second finger on the 10th fret on the B string. And if the pinky takes the root, the D, you've got a real kind of nice sounding, really kind of modern sounding major chord type. Okay, so for the major chords, we got D6, 9, D major 7, D6, any of those chords with the 9th on top. We got this chord, right, which is the major 7 with the major 9. You just take the pinky off, and you've got this modern sounding here. Okay, so context of Django's Castle. And then the other thing we can do, this is really cool, because the whole thing about this piece, you're hanging on that D major sound for like 2 whole bars, which when it's played as a ballad can be a long time, like this. Okay, so we can make it interesting in 2 ways. One way is to play a 1, 6, 2, 5 during those 2 bars. What the hell's a 1, 6, 2, 5? 1 is chord 1, D major. It's easy to remember. 1, D. 6 is B minor 7. Okay, we can play B minor 7 there, 7th fret. Okay. 2 is E minor 7, chord 2. Okay, E minor 7 there. 7, 5, 7, 8. And then 5, again, is the opening chord, the A7 type, okay? So instead of playing da, D, 2 bars of D, we're going to play da, D, B minor 7, E minor 7, da, D, okay, B minor 7, da, so that really gives it a bit of movement. Second way you can do da, D, those 2 chords. So you've got D6, 9, then you've got, so you bar it on the 4th fret, second finger takes the 5th fret on the B string, and then you slide that down 2 frets. Now don't ask me why this works, but it just works. I heard Stoccolo play this. He was accompanying Grappelli on a recording he did just before Grappelli died of this tune. And he played, when he was accompanying Grappelli, he played. See what I mean? So. Okay, the other way. B minor 7. So there's loads of options already. Then we get to the A minor 7. Da, da. You can keep that the same, D7. Da. And then usually we go, when we get to the G, we go D. We do that walk up. But I learned something really beautiful and cool from Martin Taylor, the jazz guitarist. And instead of going up when he got to the G, he went down, he went. Right, which is really beautiful. Then back to the tune there. So we played G major 7, F sharp minor 7, E minor 7, and E minor 7 type. You could play that, E minor 9. Okay, so the G major 7. Great chord for E minor 7. If we can look at a couple of options, you've got E minor 9. Okay. E, B, F sharp, open G, open B, E. So another really lush option. Okay. minor 11. So F sharp, open G, D, that's the 3rd fret B string. Pinky takes that, right, that's an E minor type. Then you're back to the, okay? So let me play it accompanying up until now using these kind of options. So B minor 7. A minor 7, just regular to the D7. Now we're going to do the Martin Taylor idea. When you're hanging on a D, you can also do that. So you play the D, and then you play 2 frets below, and you kind of walk it up like that. This is just a taste. I'm not going to go through the whole tune in this video. When you look at the charts, make sure you download these charts because you'll have 2 different versions. You'll have the basic chords, okay, which I've written out the basic way, like the first time I played it. And then in the second chart, you'll have the Lush version, and I'll take it right the way through the piece, all right? So even though I haven't gone through the piece in the video, you'll see the Lush version when you download the chart. So make sure you do that. And look, with any tune you play, it's never like the set chords. The set chords which work, but always be aware, especially as a rhythm guitarist, if you're accompanying, that there's many, many more options. And the more options you have, the more lush and more colors you can paint, and the better rhythm guitarist you can be, okay? And if you want to work and get gigs in this kind of music, then become a good rhythm player, because us lead players love good rhythm players. So get these chords together, learn them slowly, practice them, and just learn them. And by the way, you know, they sound, using these kind of lush chords make the guitar, whatever guitar you're playing, sound lush, and it brings all the kind of natural tones out of the guitar. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this is my brand new Nolan signature model, the Triple X. You can see here on the 12th fret, 3 X's, all right? So that's why it's called the Triple X, you can see that. And the Triple X, just a little bit of background, there's many meanings of Triple X. I don't know what you were thinking, but I live in Amsterdam, that's my hometown, right? And the emblem, the coat of arms for Amsterdam is the 3 X's. So when you walk around Amsterdam, you see these flags flying with the 3 X's, and it's the emblem of the city of Amsterdam, which is one of the coolest cities in the world, if you haven't been there. And that's where I live, so I wanted to make sure it gets that Triple X stamp. And what other connotations it's got, I'll leave it up to you. But, you know, I think it's kind of, you get that. And for me, this guitar is just, I work together. Okay, a little story. Eddie Polak, who made this guitar from Polak Guitars, you can see that. This guy is a master craftsman. I worked together with Eddie to design a guitar which sounds great for any kind of player, you know what I mean? And I'm not someone who uses a real heavy gypsy technique. I need a guitar which is going to sound gypsy and perform and sound loud, but without putting all the work in. So what we did, just to let you into a little bit of a background story, this top, which is a spruce top, I got him to make it as thin as possible, right? So this guitar doesn't weigh anything, right? And every time I pick up a guitar, you know, if I'm trying, I get given lots of guitars to try. And if I get given a guitar and it's like heavy, I think, oh, uh-oh, I don't think this is going to sound great. 2 things. The top is really thin. He got it as thin as possible, which is skillful to do that without it, you know, breaking. So it's like beautifully thin, which makes the sound really kind of sing out and make it loud. And also it's not lacquered, so it's not covered in lacquer, which again deadens the sound. So this whole guitar, the whole ergonomics of this guitar is kind of beauty and simplicity, if you know what I mean. So it just, there's nothing really fancy about this guitar, but it's light as hell and it just performs. And you can hear these kind of sounds. And if we're in the rhythm video, check how it sounds out for rhythms. Really hear it in the room here. usually when I'm in a room of guitarists, this is the loudest guitar, and it's amazing because I don't really play the loud, you know, I don't bang the string. So it's a beauty. Check out the headstock as well. Kind of wanted to kind of make a soft kind of instead of that harsh, usual kind of headstock, we kind of soften the top there to make it really nice. So you can see the Polak emblem here. So I'm going to talk more about this, and there's the RN, by the way, Robin Nolan, that's my name, so you can see that. I'll talk more about this guitar in the next video, and also in the next video I'm going to teach you some magical double stops, okay? So I'm going to be talking about lead playing and how you can kind of sprinkle fairy dust on this tune, Django's Castle, with these kind of lots of beautiful ideas for Django's Castle. So make sure you stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you download the chart, okay? Then you can see all these chords and start to play them. And get ready for video number 2, because you're going to learn more about this beautiful guitar, and also you're going to learn how to sprinkle the angel dust on Django's Castle. Thanks for watching. Stay inspired like always.